Hey, this is Aaron with Scalability, and welcome to Freedom Fridays, where we show you how to actually dig in and make the stuff work in your business. Now, I believe God created for 6 days, and then He set everything on autopilot so He could spend the rest of eternity in relationship with us. And we focus as a company teaching you how to do that. How do we leverage technology to get things done so that we can spend time in relationship with people instead of running around answering emails and doing stupid tech stuff all day? So on these calls, we have a lot of Q&A, and then we also do live builds and digging in. And this week, I want to talk to you specifically about communities, subscriptions, because they're super popular right now. Everybody's like, build a community, monetize your audience, which is great. I believe you should as well. And I've given you my opinions as to why in other videos that we've done. But today I want to actually show you the top 3 automations that you need to be able to manage your subscription. So you're going to need an automation that triggers when somebody purchases, and then when they're taking payments every month and they want to cancel or their payment fails, there's automations for those. And so today I'm literally going to screen share and we're going to build the purchased automation so that when somebody buys your subscription or opts in and buys your monthly payment thing, whatever it is, it takes their payment, sends the welcome email, the thank you text, all that type of stuff. And then we're going to build a payment failed automation inside of Scalability so that you can actually manage that subscription. So that if somebody's payment doesn't go through, you actually know that it happened and how to go about getting that resolved so that you can continue taking payments. Or if they want to cancel, the automation you'd build and leverage to be able to cancel and have things work inside of the system. So we're going to jump straight into my computer right now, and I'm literally going to start from start to finish, and we're going to build the purchased, we're going to build a failed automation, and we're going to build a cancellation automation. I believe it's the top 3 that you need to actually manage your subscription from day to day in your business. And if you guys, a lot of people struggle with building automations. So I thought the best way to do it was to literally just dive in and go step by step and build the whole thing. So let's jump in and get started with that so that we can get rolling. All right, on this one, we're actually going to create the welcome / onboarding or confirmation email, or I'm sorry, automation. So when somebody purchases your subscription, it will start taking their payments every month. But what happens when that happens, right? That's the beauty of automation. And so when somebody makes a purchase, we want them to get a welcome email. We want them to get tagged. We want a welcome text. We want to get notified that somebody just paid us. So that's what we're going to do right now. This is a demo account inside of Scalability where we'll actually show you step by step how to build this. But first, I want to show you what it looks like when it's built. So over here on the left, if I click on automation, it will bring me here where if you're brand new in Scalability, you have no new automations. We're going to create workflow, and then we're just going to pick from scratch. These are all pre-built ones for different stuff. But in this instance, we're going to start from scratch and click continue. When you open it up, it's literally going to be a blank screen. Add a new trigger and nothing happens underneath. I realize this is overwhelming. That's why we created this for you. So when we do this, we want to create a trigger and then the welcome email, welcome text, the tagging, etc. When we get done with it, it will look like this. You'll have a purchased monthly subscription as the trigger. You'll have a tag, an email coming to yourself, an email to them, and a text to them. Okay, that's what we're going to build right now. So the first thing we're going to do is give this thing a name. Right up here at the top, we just click up here and let's say purchased your scalable subscription name. Whatever you decide to name it, okay? The name of your monthly community. Then we're going to click on settings right under the builder right here and put allow reentry, just in case somebody decides to buy it a couple times with different email addresses or something. Then we're going to add a trigger. Now I'm going to jump back and forth between the one that's completed and building this one live so that you guys can see what this looked like. But in this particular instance, this is a purchased automation, right? So when somebody buys, that's the trigger. So what we're going to do here is we're going to search for a form. And right here, we'll see order form submission. We're going to click that one. This brings up order form submission. Now we need to add the filters to tell it which order form we want to be the trigger. So I'm going to add a filter and I'm going to say in the funnel or website. And then here I can select the funnel or website, which is the scalable subscriptions. This is your sales page. So if you have multiple funnels in your Scalability account, you're going to choose the one that is the sales page for your community, right? The one that has the form we're looking to trigger off of. Then we're going to add a filter, come down here and say the page of that funnel is, the sales page, the page that has the order form on it. Then click the filter again. We're going to choose the product is and choose the product. Monthly subscription. Okay. Now, in here on this particular one, if I open up this trigger, you see here we have the in-funnel master framework. The page is the sales page. The product is the premium monthly access. And the submission type is the sale. Okay. In this demo account here, we don't have any products attached to that funnel, so it's not bringing anything up. So using this one as an example for you, you're choosing the filter, product is, and then you'll have your monthly product if you've been following this checklist to set up your scalable subscription. The submission type is a sale. So this is what your submission or your order form submission, your purchase monthly subscription trigger should look like when it's complete, and then save the trigger. Okay. So on this demo account here, I'm just going to leave these 2 steps off, save the trigger. It creates the order form. Now remember, you want all 4 of those steps to where it looks just like the one I just shared. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come under here and we're going to add a tag. So this, when you click on the plus, it brings up all the things over here that you can do. Right? And as you can see, there's a lot of things you can do. This blue section up front, these are things that happen internally inside of your CRM for managing people. And then the green, communication, these are things that go out to the client. Okay. Underneath that is more like purple and blue of things that happen inside of your scalability account. So as you can see, there's a lot of things you can do. We're looking for a tag. So I'm just going to type in tag so that I can search that whole list and go to add contact tag. Now here, we're just going to create a new tag. If you've got a new scalability account, add a new tag. We just type in here what we want. Purchased the name of your product. Okay. And then add new tag. And it will show up just like that. So when we do this, it means when somebody buys on that web page, it's automatically going to tag them so that you can manage them in the contacts later. And so that these tags can trigger other automations and things like that. Save action. Okay. Now we're going to add another tag. Same thing, search for tag, add contact tag. And on this one, I'm going to say active subscriber. Here's why. This is going to add 2 tags. When I hit save, this one is adding the purchase tag. Okay. And this one is adding the active tag. As you can see here, when I change the action name, that's what shows up here in this list. We want to add 2 tags, one that they purchased and one that they're active. Because if they cancel, we're actually going to add a canceled tag, and that will trigger an automation to remove them from the weekly calls, and it will remove this active tag so to where they're a past client, right? Because we still want to know long-term everybody who purchases the course or your membership, whatever it is you're selling, right? So you want to tag them that, hey, this person did buy this thing. And then you want to tag them whether they're active or whether they canceled it and they're inactive. Okay. So that's why we add 2 tags. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add an internal notification to ourselves. That way it shoots you an email or a text and it says, hey, Aaron just signed up for your subscription. Congratulations. Okay. So if we come over here, remember these things are things that happen internally with scalability. The green things are things that go out to other people. So if I click on this green one here, this is going to send an email to the client. I actually want to send an email to myself. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to search internal notification. So you see this send internal, and I'm going to select an email to myself. Now I'm going to come in here, the from name and from email. You can type these in, but I like to use codes because the custom values as a code will pull information from your business profile. Remember at the very beginning here, we set up your business profile to where it had the proper information in the proper spaces so that we could do these automations and it would pull information from your business profile and plug it into here. So if I go to this little tag off to the right of the from name and come down to account and then do account name it puts in this little code, location.name with the little things around the ends. This is going to pull the friendly business name from your Scalability business profile. So what this means is if we use this code and you decide to change the way you want the from name from all of these emails, all you have to do is change the friendly business name in your Scalability profile, and it will update all of the emails and all of the automations that have this location name tag or this custom value. And so that's valuable, of course, right? We use this in there. If you change the name, you only have to change it once on your profile and it updates all of your automations. If I just type this in here, I want it to come from Aaron, and then I grow my team and I transition to where it's no longer coming from Aaron, it's coming from somebody else. I have to go into every automation that says from Aaron and change that. So instead, I use the location name so that it will pull from the profile. And if I ever want to change it, I just change it one time on the profile. From email, we're going to click this little tag, come down to account again. And here we're going to scroll till you see account email. See that little code it puts in? Location email. This is going to pull the business email from the personal profile of your Scalability account. So where it says friendly business name right underneath your company logo, just a few lines down from that, it says company email. Whatever's in that box is what will be plugged into anything that says location email right here. Okay. So this is saying that when somebody purchases, it's going to add this tag, then it's going to add this tag, and then it's going to send this email as an internal notification. It's going to send an email from the location name, from the location email, and then I can choose who I want it to go to, and I can write the subject and the body. So here I can say assigned user, I can choose custom email, I can choose all users, things like that, okay? So I'm actually going to say I want a custom email, and then I'm going to send it to myself. Okay. Then on the subject, come to the subject, and you're just going to say, let's say I want to put in here, Aaron Jennings just joined your scalable subscription. So I'll use this tag again off to the right. And this time, instead of going down to account, I'm going to go right here to contact, because I want it to put in the client, the customer's first name, or the customer's name, not my name this time. So I go over contact, and this is all the information that we'll pull from the person's contact profile in Scalability. So if I put full name right here, it says contact name, and then I can type what I want. And it will plug in whoever the client is. So if Aaron Jennings signs up, it's going to say Aaron Jennings just joined your scalable subscription. John Paul signs up, it's going to say John Paul just joined your scalable subscription. It will pull whatever the contact profile name is and plug it into there, and then say whatever you say after it. Okay. So there's a headline. Then I come into the body here, and the same thing. There's this little custom values tag. Anytime you want to use those little codes, you're looking for this tag or custom values. So if I do that and I grab contact full name again, it'll plug in that contact name. Just signed up for your scalable. This can be as detailed or minimal as you want. And honestly, you don't even have to put it there if you don't care. But it's always fun to get a little reassurance and feedback as people start paying you and joining your monthly community to get an email that's like, hey, Aaron Jennings just signed up for your scalable subscription. Woohoo! I even put things in here sometimes where it's like, congrats. Put a little excitement in there for myself so that when I get an email, I'm excited because I sent myself an email that had excitement in it. You can put whatever you want in here, okay? And so you can add pictures, you can change the text, anything you want to do inside of here just kind of like any other document. You just make the changes like that, and you're good to go. Let's say I want to bold it all. Same thing. Just like any other document, you can add pictures, do whatever you want to that, make it as fancy or not. I'm just going to keep it at that for right now. So send internal notification. Now I can actually click on that, open it up over here, and I can say, so that I know what this is. and it changes it right here. Now I can actually look at this automation without having to open these up. And this is adding a purchase tag. This is adding an active tag, and this is an email to myself. Okay, now I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to click the plus again. And this one, I'm going to scroll down right here and I'm going to write send an email. Now this is the welcome email. Welcome/confirmation. Okay, from name, I'm going to click the tag. This is coming from me, so I'm going to use account, name, and then the from email, I'm going to grab account, email, subject, welcome to Scalable Subscription, whatever the name of it is. And then come down here and write your welcome email, okay? I'm going to copy this one real quick just to show you guys, just because it's already written. I'd paste it in here. We can do whatever we want in there. So this is an example of like what one looks like. Hey, contact first name. This is Aaron. Welcome to the Scalable Subscription name of your community, okay? Here's what to expect next. Join my private community if you haven't yet. This is where you'll access resources and replays from the weekly live calls. Click here to join now. This is a link to your Facebook group. Okay, we want to point people to the Facebook group that you set up so that they can go there to get the replays and interact with other people. So the Facebook group that we set up earlier, you're actually going to come in here and just make sure that you're typing something about join my community. You write click here, I can highlight that, and I can click this little add link, and then here I can paste the link to my Facebook group. Okay. Now, obviously, this is not a Facebook group link. That's just me typing. But you will go and you will grab the Facebook link to your private group that we set up earlier in this process, and you're going to paste that link right here. And then under the action, put new window. That way, when they click on it in the email, in their Gmail or whatever email they get, whatever provider they have, when they click on this link right here, the click here link that you just linked, it will open up a new window with Facebook and the group so that they can request to join that group. Okay. 2, you'll get reminders to join our weekly group calls so we can get to know each other and get you on the road to success as quickly as possible. Save my name and email to your contacts so the internet knows we're friends and my emails don't go to your junk or your spam box. I'm excited to get to know you and help you get success as quickly as possible. See you on the inside, and you can sign your name to it. Okay. So this is kind of a quick, I'm not going to go into all the copy, but I wanted to paste it here and kind of walk through it fast so that you can actually see how it is and type your own. So make all the changes you want, but ultimately make sure you're saying, welcome, we see you, I want to get to know you. Make sure you go to the Facebook group. Here's the link to join. Those are the important key elements of this, because when somebody gets a welcome, they've paid for your community, we want to make sure they show up in the community. That way they can get the most out of the coaching and you get to know them, okay? So save that action. Now, then we're going to send them a text as well. So we just click the plus again, come down here to send SMS. And here it's the same idea, only without the from and tos and all that type of stuff, right? I can name it up top. Welcome confirmation text. And so here I can even just come back to the welcome email and I can copy whatever you wrote there and then go over here to the welcome text and paste that in here and then come in here and make changes if you need to, or leave it the same. Hi, Aaron. This is Aaron. Welcome to Scalable Subscriptions community. Here's what to expect next. Here, I like to say something along the lines of, I just sent you an email. Make sure you check your spam and junk folders. Okay, so I don't even mess with this stuff here. I copy and paste this over so that I have this first section set up, but then ultimately we're wanting to make this more personalized as a text and run people back to check their email. So here, I want to say, join my private community if you haven't yet. This is where you'll access the resources and the replays for the weekly live calls. And then from there down, I'm just going to delete a lot of that right here. We'll say, join the community. And I'll say number 2, I sent you an email with more details and the link from, and then here we can do the custom value, do the account, and grab the account email to where it puts in that location email. I sent you an email with more details and the link from this location email, period. Check, and this is something that I like to do to make sure people get it. Check your spam, junk, and promotion folders if you don't see it right away. Okay, so we're saying, welcoming them, saying, hey, thanks for joining. Here's what to expect. Join the community. You can put a link to join right there, but you can't highlight and add links in a text messages. So you can't do the click here, highlight it, and make it link to something. You would have to actually paste the link to the Facebook group, or you just simply say, join my private community. I sent you a link in email. Okay, but simplify this down to where you're basically just telling them, join the community and make sure you check your email, check your spam, junk, and promotion folders. If you don't see it right away, I'm excited to get to know you. This, again, can be anything that you want. Okay, I'm trying to share it on here so that you have some guideline to go by. And that's pretty much it. When we save this action, we've got order form is the submission, right? Let me shrink this up so you can see the whole thing. The trigger is the actual order form, right? When somebody goes to that website and buys, that's what flows downhill and starts this first thing. It adds a tag. Then it's going to keep flowing downhill and add a tag. Then it's going to flow downhill. It adds the email and it sends it to you, letting you know that they joined. Then it's going to send them a welcome email and a welcome text, and then it ends. So basically, this is going to bring them in, welcome them, point them back to the Facebook group. That way you can show up on the weekly Zoom calls and post the recordings, and they can talk to other people in the community inside of there. When you have this dialed in the way you want it, you can add all sorts of stuff. If you want to get crazy detailed and you want to have a wait step and then have it remind them to go to the group in a few days, or a wait step and then start marketing to them. If you get good at automations and you want to add follow-up automations to where every week they get a weekly newsletter and you create that in another automation, you can basically just come right down to the bottom here and you can say add to workflow. Sorry, we just searched for workflow and you'll see add to workflow. And here you can choose a different workflow in your system to where when they run through this welcome, it automatically kicks them over and it starts sending them the weekly newsletter. So you can get as detailed as you want, but this is the onboarding, the welcome, the confirmation for joining your community. And that's the priority of the call. So when you're done with these, click publish, make sure it's toggled on. You'll see the blue button is blue with a green check in the top, or a green flashing button. When you click save, that button will turn gray. It's kind of a grayed out blue. And now you know that it's good to go. If we click back to workflows, it'll show up right here like this, and it will say published, and you are good to go. Next automation we're going to create is the payment failed. So if somebody's payments that are automatically being withdrawn every month just doesn't go through, we want to know that happens. That way you can reach out to them and try to figure out what's going on. If they want to cancel, you can help them cancel or talk them into staying and be able to just get them to update their payment. So we are going to jump into automations again. Automations on the left. You'll see here we've got purchase scalable, and that's it. We're going to create a workflow by clicking on the blue button, and we're going to start from scratch again. Now again, I'm going to show you what this one looks like before we get started, because here it's just blank. So if we jump over here, you'll see payment failed automation. We're going to give it a name up top. And then the trigger will be the payment status failed for the monthly access. So if we go back here, we always want to give it a name first. We're going to do the payment failed. Then we're going to click on the settings and allow the reentry, because we want it to be able to, if somebody's payment fails, it triggers this automation. It lets us know, it lets them know. Then if they renew and they keep going and 6 months later their payment fails again, if this is not toggled on, it will not trigger the automation the second time because it sees that they've already been through it. So we want to make sure that that's toggled on. Now, the trigger. we're going to come in here and we're going to search for payment. You'll see payment received. So check the payment received. This is the trigger. And what we're going to do is we're going to click the filters. And here we're going to say the payment status. And then when you click over here, is or is not, we're going to click is. And then here you'll see failed and success. And so it's failed. So what we're saying is that the payment received, but if the payment status is that it failed, so the payment received did not receive, then that's what we want our trigger to be. Next thing we're doing is we're coming down, we're saying what product are we wanting this to trigger off of? Because if you have multiple products through your scalability account, you don't want this to trigger and send them an email saying, hey, I just saw that your scalable subscription payment didn't go through, when really they bought something else inside of your program and now it's not speaking to them, okay? So we want to make sure we're selecting the global product, and then here, is or is not, so is, and then here you'll actually choose your product, monthly subscription, and then save trigger. So now this is saying, if I click on this trigger, it's saying that if the payment received is actually failed on the monthly subscription, then that's what will trigger everything else to happen underneath here, okay? So if we look at your checklist, we've got text the client, internal notification email to yourself, wait 2 days, let yourself know again, and remove them from the group calls. So we're going to say the first thing we want to happen is to text the client. So we click the plus, scroll down here to the green communication, send SMS, and this is going to text them. So here I would say, hey, and then I can click this custom values tag, contact, and call them by their first name. You see here, it's going to say contact first name. So it's going to take it from their profile information, say, hey, Aaron, your scalable This is what I like to say. Your scalable subscription payment didn't go through, and I wanted to let you know before you lose access to anything. And you can put something in there about, I'll be reaching out to you soon to talk about this, but I wanted to give you a heads up first. You can put whatever you want in there, of course, right? This is just a text message letting them know that your monthly payment didn't go through, okay? Then just click Save Action. Underneath that, we want to send a message to ourselves, right? So again, internal notification. If you want a text or an email, you can choose which one you want. I personally like text, but I know a lot of people like email. I miss things in email because we get so many of them. So I like to have a text. And then here you can put a particular user and assign it to yourself so that the system will text you, or you can use a custom number and you can put in your cell phone number. Or if you have an accountant or somebody that handles the accounting part of your business, then you can do that. And you can put in a custom number, send it straight to them. But for this, I'll just say particular user. I'll assign it to myself so that it texts me when we have that problem. And here I'm just going to say custom value. I'm going to say contact full name because I want to make sure I get the right person when I go to look them up in Scalability. So I want their first and last name. So I can say contact names, payment failed for the name of your scalable subscription. Again, you can put whatever you want in here, okay? But this is just a notification coming to yourself. And if you choose a text, it looks like this. If you choose an email, you're just going to write the email like we did in the previous automations, okay? Save action. And so now we're saying SMS to them, internal notification to us. If you don't like the way this looks, you click the SMS and you can say text client or text to client. We're just labeling it so that out here it's easier to tell what's going on. Here I can say internal notification. I can say text Aaron. You see how it's changing this now to where now I know if the payment failed, the trigger is the text to the client and then a text to Aaron, and then I'm going to put in a wait step. So basically this is going to send them a message and me a message, And now I'm going to manually follow up with them, right? There is a manual element to running your business. It's not much, but it still is manual. You're going to reach out to them and try to talk them into staying or see if they want to cancel, whatever. But just in case you don't do it right away, let's say I get this text notification and I'm in the middle of something and I forget about it. I like to remind myself, right? Because this is somebody's payment didn't go through. We need to get them paying again or you're losing revenue. Okay. So I'm going to put a wait step. If I just search for wait, it'll bring this up. And so we're just after a time delay. We're going to call it await 2 days. And then we're going to use the time delay and just toggle this up to 2 and then select days. Now we've got a 2-day wait period that's going to hit and save. So now when the payment fails, it's going to text the client, it's going to text me, and it's going to wait 2 days. And here I want it to just remind me again. So I'm literally going to take this text, click on these 3 dots, and I'm going to copy this action or all the actions from here down. So if I copy all the actions from here, it'll copy both this, and then show me where all I can put it. I'm going to put it right here at the bottom. And when I paste, now look, now I've got text Aaron, wait 2 days, text Aaron, wait 2 days. See that? And so it's quick. Text Aaron, wait 2 days, text Aaron, wait 2 days. And then here, this is basically just giving me 4 days to follow up with them and reminding me to follow up with them multiple times. If you don't want all these, you just want to text Aaron, wait 2 days, text Aaron, that's fine. Just click the 3 dots, delete. It'll delete this action or all of them from here down. So we're just going to delete this one. Now I've got a text to them, a text to me. It's going to wait 2 days and remind me to follow up with them again. Okay, and then the last thing we want to do is we want to remove them. So if they cancel, we want to make sure that they don't keep getting weekly call reminders to show up to the weekly calls with the private Zoom link, right? So we're just going to click down here again, and we're going to say workflow is what we're going to search for. And here you'll see remove from workflow. And then it will say current workflow or another. We're going to click another. And then here you'll click and you'll remove them from the weekly calls. Okay, the weekly call automation. So this is one that's already done, right? Like this is an account we're building out. And as you can see, we're only on the payment failed. So we have not built the weekly call reminders workflow or automation yet. So if I go over here to this one that is finished up, I can show you what this looks like. It'll show up just like this. If I click on that, you see here, it says remove from weekly calls. I can click another, and here it shows all the automations that I have. And so here you see 1 year of weekly call reminders. I can click that, and this now is what it looks like. The action name is that I wanted to remove from the weekly calls. It's another workflow, and then you select which workflow you want to take them out of, and then save the action, okay? So this one here, being a demo account, we don't have it. We're going to say I'm just going to show them just for that, but you want to remove them from the weekly call reminders, okay? I'm going to leave that one off since we're not there. So that is it. Once you have that in place, we want it to where when the payment fails on the monthly subscription, it texts the client, it texts me, waits 2 days, texts me again, and then removes them from the workflow, okay? And that's all we want to do. Click publish, click save, and now we've got this one done, and we can move on to the next one. All right, on this one, we are actually going to create your canceled automation. So if we see here on your checklist, we're going to do a remove from weekly reminders workflow, active tag, email, etc. So again, I'm going to show you what this looks like before we get started. This is one that's completed. We've got the trigger is the cancel tag added. So in this particular instance, we're going to say that when the tag is added and it's the cancel tag, that will be our trigger to start all of these other things. Okay. So as always, we're going to start off with a blank inside of here. So let's go into create workflow, go with start from scratch. First thing we're going to do is name it at the top. Cancel the automation. And then here again, we're going to click settings and allow re-entry. And then we're going to start with the trigger. And this, we're going to search for tag. Contact tag is what we're after. And once we do this, the filter will decide whether it is a tag added or a tag removed. So in this particular instance, we're going to say a tag added, and then we're going to add a new tag of canceled. So type in the tag you want to create, click add new tag, and it will automatically create it like that, and then save the trigger. What we're saying is if I manually go in, or if an automation goes in to a contact's profile and adds the tag canceled, then that is what will trigger this automation to go. So the first thing we want to do is start adding our actions underneath. If I come to your checklist here, it's saying remove from the weekly reminders workflow, and then remove the active tag. So what we're doing here is we want to remove from workflow, search for workflow. Here we've got add to workflow and remove from workflow. So we're taking them out of another workflow, and then we're going to select the weekly call reminders. We want them out of the weekly call reminders. So they're canceling. That means I don't want to pay. I don't want to be a part of it anymore. So what we're going to do is make sure they don't get the weekly call reminders first. Save that action. Okay, again, we can name it. Remove from weekly call reminder workflow. That'll just title it so we can see it. And now we're going to add the tag, or I'm sorry, we're going to remove the tag. So we're searching for tag. We're going to choose remove contact tag, and we're going to remove the active subscriber. So that leaves the purchase scalable subscriptions on them, but it removes the active so they stop getting everything, right? So we're going to remove this tag of active because they're no longer active. So you just select it. It'll show up there like that. Save the action. Come back here. We're going to email the client a cancellation email, and then wait 1 day, and then let ourselves know to remove them from the Facebook group. So first we're going to send them an email and then wait. So if I go right here, we can scroll down to send an email, communications to them. Here again, we're going to use the tag, account, name, and the tag, account, email. And then in the subject, you're simply saying, this is just letting them know that you know they've canceled and you're removing them from everything. So it's just like confirming your cancellation. You write whatever you want in the subject, and then of course come down here in the body and just say, hey, grab the custom values, contact, first name, hey, Aaron, and then write whatever you want. I like to put something along the lines of, really appreciate your time. It was good getting to know you, but understand life happens. No hard feelings. If you ever change your mind, you can go to and then put your sales page URL again. So you might say, hey, Aaron, thanks for joining. Understand things change and you're not seeing the value in it for you right now. If you ever change your mind, go to www.scalablesubscriptions.com and you can sign up and rejoin at any time. Thanks again, Aaron. So just write your email. You're just saying, hey, we understand it's confirmed. We still love you. And if you ever change your mind, this is where you need to go. Okay. So save that. Here we can name it again, just so we can see it in the workflow. I like to be able to look at this and know what's happening without having to open each one of these steps. That's why I like to change the names like that, or I like to title them. Okay. If I come back here, we're going to wait 1 day and send an email to myself reminding me to remove them. So I'm just going to click the plus, put in a wait step, search for wait. We want the time delay. We'll say wait 1 day. And you can make this happen right away if you want, or you can wait 1 day. So basically what we're saying is we want an email to go out to them, and then I want to shoot myself a message or create a task for myself or something that reminds me that I have to manually go to the Facebook group and remove them from the Facebook group. You can't automate members in and out of the Facebook group. So this is simply a wait 1 day or send it immediately. It's up to you. And then send an email to yourself as an internal notification, right? We're going to select email or text. Let's just say text message. It can be a text or an email. I like text, so I'm simply going to say this. User type. We'll say particular user, send it to me. We'll say, hey Aaron, just a reminder to manually remove, and then put their full name, contact, full name from the Facebook group. and that's it. You're just sending yourself a reminder. This can be a text or an email. Right, so here I'm just going to say text to Aaron. That way I know what it looks like right here in the list. Back to the subscriptions and then remove from the current workflow. That's all we're doing here. So down at the bottom, we're just going to put workflow again, or we're going to search for workflow again. It'll bring up remove from workflow, current workflow is fine, and save. So this is basically just going to run a cancellation. As soon as I add the canceled tag to the person's profile, it will trigger this, and it's going to take them out of the weekly calls. It's going to remove the active tag so they don't get any more emails. It's going to email the client and say, hey, your cancellation has been confirmed. It's going to wait, and then it's going to remind me to take them out of the Facebook group, and then it's going to remove them from this. That's it. Publish it on, click save, and your canceled automation is done. Okay, I know that took some time for us to go through all three, but I wanted to give you a step-by-step instead of like talking about it and saying, good luck, go figure it out. We have different videos on this stuff, but I thought if we could just go through them start to finish, you could sit down, dedicate the time. We've been less than an hour still, where you could just go through and build them all back to back, have them in place. Now, on these videos, of course, I talk about using a Facebook group as the actual group, right? Now, you can build your community in a Facebook group, a private Slack channel, in your YouTube community, inside of Scalability, in our groups and communities that we have inside of there now. But ultimately, the automations for managing it are going to be the same. And so having these three concepts, having these three automations, purchased, failed, and canceled, if you get these working behind the sales pages inside your subscription, it's just going to be a whole lot easier to manage from day to day. I hope that serves you. I hope you implement these and get them built. Like I said, it took less than an hour. So sit down, build these out from start to finish. If you didn't while you're watching this, save this video, go back and do it again so that you can get your subscription up and running, and you can have it running from month to month and not have to worry so much about what's actually happening inside of there. Thank you for your time. I hope we didn't waste your time. It's our goal to never waste your time, because I know it's the only thing you can't get back. So enjoy your weekend. We will catch you guys next week.